the storm has passed. But for the Philippines, that is far from the end of the danger. Instead, it marks the beginning of a more terrifying and mysterious threat, something scientists are calling the post-typhoon tsunami curse. Just yesterday, the monster waves unleashed by Super Typhoon Uwan, also internationally known as Wong, slammed into and subsequently crushed the Philippine coastlines. The scale of the destruction is now causing global shock. 4 million people have been forced to abandon their homes, becoming instant internal refugees. Entire stretches of major highways have vanished, submerged beneath dark ocean water and thick mud. The most haunting element of the aftermath is the pervasive fear of a tsunami. Millions of residents are glued to news reports and social media channels with one overriding question. Could these colossal storm surges have actually triggered a genuine tsunami? Experts are working around the clock, sending a message that is both clear and deeply urgent. The threat is real, but it is far more complex than the classic tsunami scenario most people are imagining. So, what is truly unfolding beneath the churning surface of the waves? And just how great is the remaining risk along this devastated Philippine coastline? A satellite loop captured the final spiraling moments of Wong as it began to move away from the Luzon province. But even though the system has left, the devastation on the ground is stark and unmistakable. Midday flood maps, updated by the Pagasa Weather Agency, show massive, widespread areas in provinces like Aurora, Albay, and Cagayan, still deeply submerged underwater. The aerial drone footage is shocking. Rooftops barely visible, snapped palm trees, and major highways once critical lifelines now resembling muddy rivers. The latest bulletins from the NDRRMC, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, confirm the catastrophic figures. Over 800,000 people have been urgently displaced, a number humanitarian organizations are labeling a crisis. The confirmed death toll is currently rising to 8, but officials fear this horrifying number will climb rapidly once the floodwaters finally recede. Key transportation routes have been completely erased, buried under heavy mud, floodwaters, or severed by collapsed bridges. The Nueva Ecija Aurora Road has been shut down entirely at kilometer 105 due to a major landslide. The Baler-Cagayan Road is completely impassable, where an essential bridge was swept away by the current. In Albay, the Maharlika Highway near Camalig is severely choked with lahar volcanic mud and flood debris, leaving only a single emergency lane open for crucial relief vehicle movement. The Legazpi-Tabaco Road remains blocked by flowing mud and overturned vehicles, a haunting testament to the unimaginable power of Uwan's surge. Further north in Cagayan, the Cagayan-Apayao Road is cut off by another collapsed bridge and deep floodwaters. Meanwhile, the Magapit-Gadang Road is restricted to one-way traffic, as water levels stubbornly refuse to drop. Power loss is another critical issue. Over 120,000 households along the coast are currently without electricity, and countless villages remain completely isolated, cut off from all external aid. Emergency shelters are crowded around highway junctions, where relief trucks are forced to halt at roadblocks. Every blocked road, every submerged field, serves as a chilling reminder that the danger lingers long after the storm's eye has moved on. The official maps and closure notices, stamped with source and time, leave no doubt about the severity of the situation. This crisis is far from over. Recovery crews and desperate families alike are currently facing a landscape still utterly dominated by water, waiting anxiously for the next wave or the next official warning. Long after the powerful winds of Super Typhoon Uwan have faded into memory, the relentless ocean continues to send massive waves ashore along the battered coastline. The immediate danger now stems from what is scientifically termed residual swell, long rolling waves that possess the terrifying ability to keep arriving for up to 3 full days after a typhoon has officially passed. These swells are not just simple leftovers or minor aftershocks. They are, in essence, the ocean's way of violently releasing the immense, stored energy accumulated during the storm event. And crucially, they do not require visible storm activity or heavy winds to be deadly. Instrument data captured at Pagasa's crucial Baler tide gauge, located just north of the typhoon's precise landfall point, shows a clear and sharp 30-centimeter water level pulse at 4:14 a.m. on the 10th of November 2025. The recorded trace exhibits a sudden spike, rising rapidly from $0.72 extem dollar to $1.02 extem dollar, followed by an equally rapid drop, all transpiring within a mere 2-minute window. Experts confirm this specific signal is not a classic tsunami signal, but it is irrefutable proof that the sea's enormous energy is still arriving in unpredictable, dangerous bursts. The source is clearly marked: Pagasa Station PH Baylor 01, the 10th of November 2025, from 4:13 to 4:15 Philippine time. A leading Pagasa meteorologist issues a severe caution. These long-period waves mean that the coasts of Cebu, Samar, and Biol may experience hazardous surf and renewed flooding for a period extending 24 to 72 hours after the very last rain band of Wong fully dissipates. The official advice is unambiguous. Stay off all shorelines until continuous tide station data confirms a consistent downward trend in sea levels. Source: Pagasa, 2025, Philippine time. Beyond the raw numbers and scientific data, the physical risk on the ground is terrifyingly clear. The vast volume of water that forcefully surged inland during the height of the storm is now desperately rushing back out towards the sea. This creates intensely powerful, dynamic flows, known as rebound surges, in river mouths and coastal bays. These dangerous flows can instantaneously reverse direction without any warning, causing secondary flooding and inundating villages for a devastating second time. Furthermore, within the immediate surf zone, the water has become a chaotic minefield. Floating debris, including sharp roof panels, heavy tree limbs, and tangled fishing nets, transforms the seemingly receding water into a deadly hazard, posing extreme danger to rescue teams attempting essential operations, and to any residents foolish enough to attempt returning home prematurely. Even as the sky above begins to clear and blue patches emerge, the ocean below remains violently unpredictable and extremely perilous. The coastlines are emphatically not safe yet. Residents are urged to maintain a safe distance from the water, strictly obey all local warnings, and wait only for confirmed downward trends across official tide stations before considering any return to coastal areas. As darkness fell across the battered region, screens across the Philippines lit up with a chaotic storm of warnings, panicked rumors, and shaky, unverified videos. Overnight, a single clip falsely claiming an imminent midnight tsunami threat spread with shocking speed across Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. This one video alone was shared more than 280,000 times in the span of just a few crucial hours. Hashtags such as #MonsterWave and #YouWantTsunami quickly trended at the top across the Philippines, successfully pushing a wave of widespread panic through community pages and countless group chats. Some social media posts featured harrowing images of families frantically packing up their few remaining belongings. Others showcased grainy video clips of sirens blaring chaotically in the dark, all accompanied by captions desperately urging people to immediately flee coastal barangays. The original video, uploaded by a self-proclaimed storm-chasing channel, overlaid dramatic, ominous music onto low-quality, grainy shots of churning, violent surf. Within minutes, a relentless tide of copycat accounts amplified the same terrifying message, with each new iteration adding its own baseless speculation, or, worse, political spin. Share graphs spiked dramatically as screenshots of supposedly official warnings circulated widely. A terrifying number of these were found to be either expertly doctored or hopelessly outdated. The comment sections below these videos quickly filled with raw fear, deep confusion, and desperate cries for help, effectively drowning out the quieter, measured voices that were linking to actual, verifiable Pagasa and 5ALX bulletins. Amidst this intense, deafening noise, a simple, fundamental question kept resurfacing. Can these typhoon monster waves truly trigger a devastating tsunami? Or is something else entirely fueling this overwhelming surge of public fear? In a disaster crisis, the difference between a simple rumor and hard reality can be a dire matter of whom the public chooses to trust and where they look for their answers. Rumors, it turns out, can propagate and spread exponentially faster than the waves themselves. But the foundational science behind official tsunami warnings is built squarely upon hard evidence and a strict, professional chain of responsibility. In the Philippines, the monumental and difficult task of separating factual data from widespread public fear falls to three primary agencies: the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, 5ALX, the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, and the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, PTWC. Crucially, each agency monitors a distinct, separate part of the overall threat pipeline. PAGASA meticulously tracks meteorological storm surges and the lingering, dangerous residual waves we previously discussed. In contrast, PHI Volx primarily assesses deep seismic activity and the terrifying, often overlooked risk of underwater landslide generation. A chief seismologist from PHI VOLCS explains a core finding. Subsea slope failures can indeed generate highly dangerous waves, even in the complete absence of a major earthquake. Our sensitive sensors actively look for any sudden pressure change that may signal such subsea failures along the Philippine Trench, the expert stated. This level of vigilance is not merely theoretical. Vigilance is the precise mechanism by which we successfully find the signals that genuinely matter for public safety. This institutional vigilance is not academic. It is driven by catastrophic historical precedent. On the 15th of November 1994, a powerful magnitude 7.1 earthquake occurred off the coast of Mindoro, which, crucially, did not directly cause the devastation, but instead triggered a massive submarine landslide. This slide, in turn, unleashed a local tsunami that tragically claimed the lives of 78 people. That single devastating event fundamentally altered how key Philippine agencies coordinate and respond to potential threats. PHI Volx now operates a highly sophisticated, round-the-clock network designed specifically for this purpose. This network integrates a complex array of modern tide gauges, deep ocean dart buoys, and specialized seismic stations. All data collected by these critical instruments is instantly fed to national and local officials. When the system detects a sudden, anomalous sea level spike or a deep seismic tremor that meets specific criteria, PHI VOLCS and the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, PTWC, immediately issue preliminary statements, often within minutes of detection. If the anomaly is rapidly confirmed by corroborating data points, the alert level is escalated, and warnings are swiftly relayed to local governments, who then activate sirens and issue mandatory evacuation orders. If the data fails to confirm the threat indicating a false alarm or a non-hazardous event, the advisory is officially canceled, and the public is updated with clear information. This layered, robust system is specifically engineered to successfully intercept and identify genuine threats, while simultaneously filtering out baseless panic and the noise of misinformation. However, the strength of this protective chain is inherently limited by its weakest link. Therefore, every single instrument, every minute piece of data, and every official bulletin issued matters immensely as new and unpredictable subsea scenarios continue to develop. It is this crucial blend of unyielding vigilance and rigorous verification protocols that ultimately keeps coastal communities as safe as possible. Most global forecasts, utilizing sophisticated satellite-based models from agencies like the Japan Meteorological Agency and the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, now agree on one point. The main energy pulse and the meteorological threat from Wong are steadily decaying. As a result, coastal risk maps are being downgraded in real time across numerous regions. For the majority of towns and coastal cities, this news signifies a gradual, welcome return to normalcy. Roads are reopening, damaged power lines are being repaired, and the ocean surface is visibly smoothing out. A respected scientist at the University of the Philippines Marine Science Institute observes that vast wave energy can travel for days after the source has vanished. But their professional consensus remains. Unless a new, unforeseen trigger emerges, the worst of the regional danger is likely over for the Philippines' broad coastline. While the consensus suggests the worst of the regional coastal risk is receding, the bathymetry graphic for the Malele Canyon tells a terrifyingly different story, focusing on risks lurking just below the surface. In these specific, deep submarine canyons, a single, isolated underwater slope failure possesses the catastrophic power to unleash a highly localized, devastating wave. A phenomenon that can occur even days or weeks after a major typhoon has completely passed through the area. This risk is far from hypothetical. Recent, detailed sonar surveys conducted in the area have identified a fresh, distinct slide scar within the Malele Canyon head. This scar is estimated to involve an absolutely massive volume of displaced sediment, approximately 6.2 million cubic meters. To put that volume into perspective, it is a staggering amount of material, more than enough to instantly and violently displace water, creating a surge that could catch nearby coastal villages entirely off guard. Therefore, while the large-scale regional threat from the typhoon pulse is thankfully fading, the specialized, extreme risk of a sudden, unpredictable local surge remains an active concern. Agencies are now watching these identified deep-sea hotspots with intense scrutiny remaining on high alert for any minute sign of a rogue wave formation, where the seabed structure has been severely weakened by the storm's incredible force and sustained wave action. However, the largest, most significant external risk, the one capable of changing all calculations in a matter of minutes, remains a major offshore earthquake, specifically one measuring magnitude 6.5 or higher. PHI Volks, alongside key international partners, operates seismic stations that continuously scan the vast, complex Philippine Trench. This constant vigilance is essential, because only a powerful tectonic slip along this major boundary could genuinely trigger a true, devastating tsunami. When such a major quake hits, the meticulously structured detection chain immediately begins its critical task. First, multiple sensitive sensors must confirm both the magnitude of the tremor and its precise location. If the measured magnitude reaches the established warning threshold, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, PTWC, instantly issues a preliminary advisory alert. Next, the network of deep ocean dart buoys checks for abnormal sea level changes across the open water, specifically looking for a rapid, sustained spike of 20 centimeters or more. Finally, the tide gauges located right at the coast must subsequently show a rise of at least 30 centimeters above the established baseline before a full mandatory warning is dispatched to the public. If all these critical steps align and confirm the threat, local governments immediately activate warning sirens and order mandatory evacuations of all low-lying coastal areas. The early warning system is designed to provide communities with the critical knowledge needed for survival. It replaces chaos and rumors with verifiable, actionable intelligence. Therefore, citizens must internalize and understand the clear red flags that indicate an imminent, genuine tsunami threat, requiring immediate and decisive action. The red flags are unmistakable and require urgent evacuation. A sudden, major offshore earthquake is felt or reported. An official tsunami advisory or warning is issued by PHI Volks or the PTWC. The water dramatically and rapidly pulls back from the shoreline, exposing the seabed in an unusual manner. A sharp, unexplained surge is observed immediately following a period of coastal calm, indicating a significant underwater event. Conversely, the green flags signal that the immediate threat has passed and risk is stabilizing. The green flags mean the environment is stabilizing and official clearance is pending. No significant seismic activity is reported near the Philippine Trench. Stable, consistent readings are being provided from all deep ocean dart buoys and coastal tide gauges. An official all-clear announcement is publicly issued by either PHI Volks or the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. Stay relentlessly alert for these vital signals. Your personal awareness is undeniably your single best defense against the chaotic power of the sea. For the most real-time, verified updates, always rely exclusively on official agency feeds and avoid the rampant misinformation that floods social media during a crisis. Today, official tide gauges continue their solemn, vigilant work, meticulously tracking every single surge and anomaly along the complex Philippine coast. This level of sustained vigilance is not merely an exercise in caution, it is the fundamental blueprint for survival. As global ocean patterns continue their rapid shift and the intensity of climate extremes unfortunately magnifies, the next catastrophic wave may not announce itself with clear, conventional warning signs. In this unpredictable new era, our collective and individual awareness, our ability to discern facts from fear, remains our most unbeatable and powerful defense against whatever the vast and unpredictable sea decides to send next. This concludes our special report on the aftermath of Super Typhoon Uwan.